Hey, Daniela, how are you? Daphne here. Hope you're well. Well done doing those corrections. Thank you. It takes a long time. You don't need to correct every essay. Don't worry. The most important thing is to understand where your mistakes are, and then you are less likely to make them again. Let's look at this. In many countries, traditional foods are being replaced by fast food. This has a negative impact on families, individuals, society. So we need to think about what is traditional food. Obviously, we know what is fast food, and we need to think about what this impact might be. So when you do your essays, do you do your little bit of planning that Ben talks about? It's really, really important to do this. Just doesn't need to take you very long, but you might put, okay, benefits of fast food, and then what are these negative impacts? And you might put that there's no family bonding, that it's less healthy, and that maybe these traditions are lost. Traditional recipes maybe are lost for future generations. Something like that. We know the benefits. Most of the time, society tends to buy fast food for the simple fact it's easier to get it. Okay, the fact is that many of these actions tend to have repercussions. For example, the fact that you buy fast food causes local restaurants to lose popularity. Good point. Really nice. Okay, let's get this into formal writing. So I really don't like you. I don't like we. It is too informal for IELTS style. Okay? You have to do this another way. Most of the time, society buys fast food. Most of the time? That's like always. I don't buy fast food. So, okay. In recent years, let's do it this way. Yeah, many or been a dramatic rise in the increase of people eating fast food. Do it that way. Society doesn't buy, people buy. But this is quite a nice start. In recent years, there's been a dramatic increase in the rise of people eating fast food, and we have to say for the simple fact, not with, that it is easier to get. Easier to get it? That's a little bit informal. To get it for IELTS, we need to keep this formal. It's easier to buy. Buy. Yeah. The fact is that many of these actions tend to have repercussions. Many of these actions, you're only talking about one action. Yeah. This action tends to have repercussions. For example, the fact that just take out you, put this buying fast food causes local good. So this becomes the subject basically. It's an ing, the gerund. The fact that buying fast food causes local, in this essay, I will discuss. It's not we, you're doing it on your own. I will discuss whether fast food has, okay, really nice, good. Society is so used to consume, so change that. Okay, don't repeat what you've just said in the intro. So I think that can go, okay? So, but you could say fast food consumption has become popular for two reasons. We need to make sure maybe you can have has become more popular than home cooked traditional meals for two reasons. This is really important, Daniela. What you're doing is comparing the two, and you need to do that. So traditional food, fast food. Fast food consumptions become more popular than traditional meals for two reasons. Firstly, it is delicious, although it's known that all fast food has a particularly delicious taste that makes diners consume it more and more. Okay. Delicious taste that makes diners consume it regularly. yeah, instead of more and more. And secondly, it's too cheap and can be a quick option. Diners who don't really feel like cooking go to the nearest restaurant. However, there are health implications. Keep going on this a bit more. As processed food contains, now you can go, contains salt and sugar and leads to an obesity crisis. This is the negative impact. Yeah, so obesity crisis. It's very important you take that argument to its end. What about adding an example? For example, recent reports have shown, look on the course that Ben's doing with you, how to add an example. You could add a small example there. Don't put questions in IELTS essays, it doesn't work. Okay, too informal as a style, it just doesn't work. Okay, however, what happens if fast food reaches this limit? Okay. However, it's proven that more than 50% of the population consumes more fast food than local. And this is because, however, okay, this trend is having a negative impact on local businesses. As, keep going there, so that's my big topic sentence. The more than 50% of the population consumes more fast food than local. This is because fast food restaurants are more popular. You don't need that. You kind of said that already. More fast food local, and the repercussions it has on local makes it lose its form and popularity, and people no longer really like the taste of traditional, well done, traditional food. This means that ultimately, so keep going, this means that is a really, really good little phrase. This means that ultimately what's going to happen, maybe there's going to be less family bonding, eating out together, or maybe traditional recipes are lost. Okay, so keep going, more here. Push that paragraph, push these paragraphs as far as you can, even add an example there. In conclusion, should consume more local food, apart from that really delicious, which can be, yeah, which can be as tasty and nutritious. Let's get some better words in there. Nutritious as, which can be more, so I'm not comparing, more tasty, sorry, and nutritious than processed food, and also keeps the family traditions and culture alive for future generations, or something like that. Yeah, sorry, what's happened there? Traditions for future generations. Don't keep on saying nutritious, and be careful of delicious, and be careful of repeating yourself. There's quite a lot of times where you're repeating yourself. Make your point here, get some good vocab in there, and then stop. Yeah, for future generations. So strongly believe people should consume more local food, which can be more tasty, Okay, so absolutely on the right track. Well done, but just let me see that bit of planning in there, and then I know that you're going to answer the right question. Okay, shoe sales. I want 4 sections in this. So where are my 4 sections? Bar chart gives information about shoe sales of 3 different types. Okay. That's fine, and then I want an overall. So you've got a conclusion here. We don't really call it a conclusion. We call it an overall sentence. So let's move that up to here. And we're going to call it overall. So instead of that, overall, the 2 countries that had the peaks were Hungary and Poland. Okay. I wouldn't really say peaks. I would say the greatest sales were Hungary and Poland, whereas, so we've got to mention Belgium because that's so different. In Belgium, the sales of, it's brown, isn't it? Brown shoes were the lowest. Among all countries. So that's my overall sentence. 1, 2. Now I want to get into some detail, but I want 2 more sections. In France, the brown leather, no capitals there, fluctuates more than 60%. Now be careful. All this language, like fluctuates here, increase of, you cannot have this language in this chart. Okay, I'll tell you why. So all that language has to go. Hold steady. You can't have that because, look at it. It's a static. It's just 1 year. There's no movement. All those lovely verbs you're using are fine if your chart is moving from year to year, but it's not. It's a picture of one static year. So that language doesn't work. So you need sentences like, okay, the highest sales, so I'm here. The highest sales of brown shoes were in Poland, Hungary and Germany with levels of around 120,000. Okay, this compares to 130,000 sales of black shoes in Hungary and 120,000 in Italy. So I'm grouping the data, I'm grouping the highest ones and I'm comparing them. So group and compare. And I'm giving this past tense. It was this, it was that. Okay, then I can have a bit more detail. I can group some of the other ones here. Let's look at these black ones. So Germany, Ireland, Poland, Holland. I'll put them in the same group. Maybe even the UK. Okay, you could put the UK, Germany, Holland, Ireland, which I think you are having here, showed similar numbers of sales of black shoes ranging between, it's not percentages, it's units, watch out for that, ranging between 70,000 to 100,000 compared to brown shoes in those countries which were all higher. So the black ones were lower, the brown ones were higher. Definitely going to mention this one. Belgian shoppers only bought 5,000 units of brown shoes compared to black, which was 10 times more popular or 20 times more popular, whatever it is, more than that. So make the connections between these. Okay, so all this language about peaks, we just can't use that there. So go back into the website, have a look at how we do the task ones, academic, and then that'll give you a really, really clear idea. Okay, so well done.